Hello, everyone. My name's Setala. I'm here with registered medium Angie. I always just call you Angie. I
Yeah,
always,
Angie, yeah, Angie, yeah.
but we wanted to come on and to kind of apologize for yesterday. As you know, mediums and shamans were a little bit spacey, and we completely we had our wires crossed, so we actually didn't go live yesterday as planned. But we're planning like the actual message event for we were talking about for Monday, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Monday. Yeah, we're going to be on
Yeah.
doing messages together, right, Hank?
Yeah, so the way that we're going to be working that is Angie, of course, is more on the medium side. And though I have trained as a medium, my real love is in intuitive facilitation. And so what I like doing is empowering people to know that they know that they know by asking questions. So
Yeah,
the idea for Monday, and we kind of started playing with this the last time,
yeah.
Angie does the messages from spirit, and then I would offer a little bit of facilitation to kind of give somebody a tool or something to anchor home or take away how they could implement some of the things that came through in the message.
Yeah, I loved it. I love when things happen natural that way because we weren't even planning it, right, Hank?
No, we weren't, but there was such a strong impulse to talk about, especially empaths, because everybody's empathic. But where it started was with that one person, and it's like, well, that really played off well with each other, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's like, well, why not do this a little bit more?
Yeah, well, because they were kind of getting a reading, and then you actually were giving them things they could actually do to change their lives, or to have something in their life that they really want. I loved it.
Yeah, it worked out really well. And so we're planning on doing that Monday. So please, I'm going to make a little schedule and we will make sure that everybody knows about that. But the other thing that we wanted to say hello, Kimberly, thank you for
Hi,
joining
Kimberly.
us.
Yep. Hi.
Yeah, we wanted to also just mention for those of you, one of the reasons we wanted to go live yesterday too was not only to do the messages, but we also wanted to make sure people knew about Angie's class. And we're going to be doing in just 4 hours from now, less than that.
I
We're going
know.
to be doing a past life regression hypnosis workshop with Angie, where you're going to experience a couple past lives and
Yeah.
perhaps a guide. Do you want to tell a little bit of? I know you have a couple ways that you get people to that place of relaxation, but what exactly can people expect when they're when we're talking about like past lives and how it might be used for healing?
Oh, it can be so much used for healing. I mean, some people do it just out of curiosity because we all have those moments of deja vu in our life where we feel like somebody in our current life is somebody we've known before because they seem so familiar from the moment we met them. Or sometimes, you go someplace to a different country and you just feel like there's something about this that I just feel like I've been there before. Um,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to mention, like when I was going through the school, Elaine Thomas used me as an example for one of her ever-present moment of now readings. I think that's what she calls them. Am I
Yeah,
am I
yeah.
saying it correctly?
Ever
And
present now. Yep. Love
yeah,
it.
and it was like with the life that we were choosing, that my wife and I were like we were going to be the treat to each other because of the life set we were picking, and like so we already had all this history with other lifetimes and everything. And for those of you who don't know, my wife is from Germany. We met. Well, we met like my senior year of high school, but we literally got together as a couple a week before we would have been separated. So imagine having a relationship for 1 week and then the person goes, going off to another country and only seeing each other for a year and being in an 8 year long distance relationship. The reason that worked is we had a relationship that went way beyond that 1 week. We had been together many lifetimes, many experiences, and we had that connection.
Yeah, like you almost have that instant connection right away. There was something about her. And I always feel this too. Like a lot of the people that we reincarnate with over and over again, we've been in lifetimes before. And we come back in different roles to learn different things together.
Yeah.
You can't miss it. Like I always think this, like when you're gonna meet a soulmate or meet somebody, a best friend or somebody you're gonna spend your life with, you can't miss it because it works out. I feel like a lot of it's pre-planned, but then I also feel like we have free will. Don't you
Yeah.
think? You
Oh,
agree?
absolutely. Like it's, and then the past lives and lifetimes together also explain some other things, like how time is this tool for perception only. There's not really a linear time. And have you ever had the experience where there's one person who is so infatuated with someone, right? And the
Yeah.
person that they're infatuated with has nothing, wants nothing to do with them, right? And I'm like, well, what if their streams are going like this? And for
Yeah.
that guy, he's been with her 50 times, but for her, it's the first time, and they're going like this linearly.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, totally. Oh, I think that happens too.
Yeah, so it's
All
like
the
a
time.
kind of an interesting thing when you look at it in that perspective. But the other thing that for me past lives really help with is that we have this tendency to be disillusioned in this world and in this life where things that are being cycles, repeat cycles, like we're just blind to it. And by seeing that same cycle in a past life, it gives us this new clarity, like, oh my goodness, I'm doing that again over here.
Oh, so much, so much, so much. I mean, it's so many times like you're in this life, and I talk to people all the time about this stuff, and I'm sure you do too. That it's I'm trying so hard to have abundance in my life, or I'm trying so hard to find somebody to spend my life with and be in love, or all different kinds of things. And it's like they're trying everything, and they're doing work on themselves and reading the right books and meditating and all, and yet somehow it just doesn't seem to work out for them. And I have found that if you go back sometimes in a past life, you might have had like a difficult experience, say in a relationship, and made a promise to yourself, like say at the end of that life, that you are never doing that again. And
Right.
so right, and then you come into this lifetime, and it's like that promise, it really becomes like a belief, and then there you are drawing things in over and over again that aren't working out, right?
Yep, absolutely. And I think that the opposite or the opposite direction anyway is also true. Like where say you're stuck because of growing up and you had the point of view that, you can't make money doing this kind of work or being a healer. And the way that you need to
Oh
release
yeah.
that is through a story. So like what happened? I mean, really it's the ever present moment of now, past life, future life, really it's just another life. And if we have trouble working through that energy of not being willing to charge for our time or to
Yeah.
receive for things, sometimes it helps to have a story in a past life or something, just to have a context of identifying the energy, just to have a way to release it. And it's irrelevant whether that's as Cleopatra or as a former president. It's like whatever package you need to put it in, it then gives you the ability to take it, transmute it, and just have ease with moving into new opportunity.
100%. I love that. I love that you said that, 'cause that's exactly what it is you go back and you make that realization, and you're right. By making that realization, you can have a different story.
Right.
That's 100%.
Yeah,
We
so
should be
past
doing
lives is like the
we should
chicken
be
and the
doing
egg. What phase came first, the present moment or the past
I know.
moment? But it's
I
really all
know.
just the ever present moment. And
It's all the ever present
yeah.
now. And you know what? Hey, that's we should be doing those together too, because I could do the regression, and then you could do help with the story.
Oh, there we go. We'll have to. We're going to play that. Angie and I have been talking a lot off cam that a lot of things that we might have in the works of co-creating some classes together because we went with the same inspiration from spirit, the same intuitive gifts, went
Yeah.
completely different directions. Because really, it's the same energy when you're doing healing work
Yeah.
or when you're doing reading work. You're tapping into the same space, but we're just presenting the information very differently to different people who need to hear it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. No, I love working with you. That's you try to, like, in the times of today, my family always talks about finding the bless in the mess, and what,
I
and
love
so
that.
what's the bless? Yeah, I love that, don't you?
Yeah, I love like the cornier the better when it
I
comes to
know,
stuff
I
like
know,
that.
I love those too. But but when you think about it, like one of the blesses in the mess is we're having the opportunity to work together because we wanted to for years.
Yeah, and now we collaborated more in the last 2 weeks than we have in the last 2 years, and it's like wow. And just like with some of the things, we're going to be making some announcements, hopefully in the near future, of a couple co-creations that we're going to be working on.
Oh yeah,
It's just like wow, like the space that this has created by being able
yeah.
to take a step out of reality and really just see what possibilities are there, the
So
blessed
true.
and the mess.
So true, so true. That we're finding the bless in the mess, and yeah, and we've had some good meetings too, and some good brainstorming times with a couple other people right here on Zoom, or now we're on Streamyard, but on Zoom, and we've come up with some great ideas that we're not going to announce them yet, but
Yeah,
we're going to
not yet.
announce them soon, right, Hank?
Yeah, there. Hopefully, by next week we'll be making a pretty cool announcement, and then
Yeah,
a couple other projects that might be more like 6 months down the line. But it's just creating the space where we can really come together and co-create, and
yeah,
it's like, woo,
yeah.
yes,
Oh, I know, I know. We're actually kind of having fun, aren't we?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
it's like what else is possible, like being in that energy. We've already created so much, like what can be the next one. We have a couple other people saying hi. Susan saying hi,
Hey, hi Sue.
and
How are
Kimberly
ya?
saying hi. Hi,
Hi Kim.
Kimberly.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's getting excited for it. And so again, for those of you just joining us, I know you probably missed the beginning. We had intended to be on yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah,
Yeah, it was yesterday. Think so.
yesterday. And things.
My fault. My fault.
I wasn't going to point fingers
I,
at Angie,
yeah, I
but
messed up my schedule. Yeah.
but it gets flighty. Like I was telling the story the other day, I was so spacey once that I forgot to pick up my kids from daycare because I'm out in my own world. That happens to mediums. It happens to shamans. It's
It
kind of
happens
like
to us.
space cadets. And
We're in different time zones or something, Hank. But
yeah,
I think that's worse not to pick up the kids from daycare.
maybe, especially when they charge you like $20 per 5 minutes that you're late. I mean,
Yeah,
it's up pretty
yeah,
quick.
that could be expensive. Yeah,
But it
no,
was like right after one of my shamanic initiations, and I don't know what world I was in, but I was having a blast. And then all of a sudden, I'm getting the text. I'm like, uh oh, that's not good.
I got to go pick up the kids. Oh no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fortunately I wasn't too late, but still it was
that's all right.
best
Then.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
avoid that.
But you know what though, that does kind of happen. I remember being in fellowships and fellowships of the spirit. We both went to school there, and you'd go for a weekend, right, Hank? And we'd start
Yep.
going to Friday night to like a Sunday, and they would go like you would go until late at night, and then all day Saturday. And really, I mean, you're connecting with your higher self, and you're connecting with your spirit guides, and I'd have to adjust when I felt like I came back to the real world a little bit, right?
Yeah, and that's the one thing too. Like anytime that you have a spiritual class, like if you come tonight to the past life regression, or if you're coming to the shaman apprenticeship weekend that we're starting in a couple weeks virtually, there's going to be a 6 week virtual one. Shameless plug for my shaman apprenticeship 6 week virtual experience. But like when you have that shift in vibration, the thing is like when you go back to the real world, when you go back to your family and everything, to just have the space to recognize that you just had this great experience, and like maybe there's like a shift differential, let's call
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And sometimes that can cause a little bit of chaos in the family or the home. But if you can go in with the space, like what space could I be to allow them to come with me into this space versus colliding and finding a new normal.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. That's true. I love how you put those things. But you know what I always like too. It was Mark Thomas always teaching 100th Monkey,
Oh
and I know
yes.
you've taken that. Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Only
And
once. I want to go back. I need to go back as an alumni monkey.
yeah, me too. We got to do that. We'll do that together. So, I always liked what he said that you can meditate and that's what we did a lot in that class is a lot of deep meditation, and so you came back to the world and you kind of felt like you were in a different space. But really what you ended up doing was you affected your family in a good way, right? Because
Yeah.
even though like they maybe weren't meditating, just you meditating and changing your energy rubbed off on them, right?
Yeah, it definitely. Well, I think it could go different ways for different people. If you go back with the point of view that you had some sort of superior experience, then you might have a little bit more conflict than ease. So
Yeah,
some of
yeah,
that
that could
comes
be.
down to the how you handle it. But when I was going through fellowships once a week at least, we had a whole bunch of Dick Sutphin CDs, and I would put those on, and we would actually sit and listen to it together, each with headphones, and we would like do a couples meditation. And
Wow.
so like it really was great. And she would come with me before kids. She would come with me to the classes. We took the astrology class with oh, what's his name, Hammond. Uh,
Uh, Stephen Forrest,
no, the other
other
gentleman,
one.
Robert Hand. Robert Hand.
Oh, Robert Hand. Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot.
he even
Yeah,
used
yeah,
mine and my wife's chart as an example in our relationship and put them both up. And he's like, "Oh, one person will come to this country and all this stuff." And like his degree of accuracy was like crazy good.
yeah.
It's like,
That's
wow,
amazing. Love that. I love
it's amazing.
astrology. Love astrology. Yeah, and I love. I'm happy to be doing the past life regression, and I think people are going to get a lot out of that. And you mentioned Dick Sutphin, and that's how where I learned how to do past life regression was with him. And hypnosis and all. He's an amazing teacher.
Yeah, I only got to take a life inspirations course or life activation workshop with them, and I had this great awareness of something called "As I Forgive Me." It's an acronym for like a metaphysical approach to inner work, and I'm still working out a workbook, but that's going to be a whole class I'm going to be rolling out with a way that you can actually consciously and deliberately go after your shadow and after
Love.
the boulders that are preventing you from stepping into your
Love it.
oneality.
Love it. I love that, Hank. Love that. Yeah. I'm working on some more things too. We have this time now that we're home. We get to like plan classes, right?
Yeah, creating. But for me, I also have two little ones. I got Max and Oliver, and between the two of them, it's like I also have to do a little homeschooling.
That's right. You got to do that too, and take them in. I saw him in playing the bowls, your sound bowls, right?
Yeah, in the little beginning clip, they were doing that, and I have
Yeah.
they're this great. They'll actually come and help me in concerts in person, so I can go do one-on-one work with people, and they'll go and they'll keep the bowls going, and they'll hit the gongs. That's my one. The one downside is they'll fight over who gets to play the gong,
Oh yeah.
and then that.
Songs are.
So
I like.
sometimes I'm like, oh, I just gotta have one of them help me at a time. If I have two of them, then that's when they have a little bit of that brotherly
Yeah.
conflict.
Then instead of playing the bowls, there you have to leave the session and and see whose turn it is, right?
Yep, and then Oliver, like when I'm going around the room, when it's like getting close to him, he'll lay down because he wants the one-on-one work too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. That's very cool though. Kids love that.
Yep, and Angie's going to be virtually hosting me, and I did get my new camera, and I just am waiting on a new microphone, and I'm going to hopefully have a way where I can be a little bit more mobile. My voice will get picked up more, and the bowls. So I'm hoping to
Yeah.
create a much a smoother virtual experience for everybody. So we'll be
Yeah.
making announcements around that. So thanks for virtually hosting that. Uh,
Mhm.
and for those of you just joining us, we were just talking about the past life regression workshop today at 6 o'clock. And then if you're looking for the readings, because I know some of you are tuning and say Angie's on, that means readings are coming, right? We're planning to do a whole bunch of that on Monday night for at
Yeah.
least an hour, however much time we have. So tune in on Monday, and we're going to be bringing you into the studio with us where you can interact with us and have a little
Yeah.
bit of a reading, a little bit of a facilitation, and walk away with less limitation and more possibility.
Yeah, we love that. And if you look here, you can see Spirit Inspirations with me and Hank, and we're really looking forward to that. And that's going to be too. We'll I'm sure we'll do some talking because we like doing that. We always have things to share. But it's going to be mostly messages, right, Hank?
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit at the very beginning, maybe 5 minutes or so, and then we're going to get right into the message work.
Yeah.
It's going to be at 7 o'clock. Kimberly was asking what time on Monday. It's going to be at 7 o'clock. I'm going to schedule it, and you're going to see it on all of our pages. And then a week from today, we're hosting Angie virtually for a intuition development class.
Yeah.
We're kind of also going to be talking about that a little bit on Monday because if you want to
Mhm.
be able to do what we're doing, there's different tools and techniques that you'll be able to use to bring more of that awareness and that GPS into your life, like having that
Yeah,
internal
because
compass.
we're all born with it. We're all born with the connection to our intuition, and sometimes, and as we go through our lives, sometimes we don't pay attention to it, and all we really need to do is attend a couple classes and get some tools, and we're right back to where I think using why not use a natural gift like intuition, your GPS, as you said. I
Yeah.
love calling it that. That was good.
Yeah. And in shamanism, it comes down to a simple ability to get into this binary dialogue with the universe where you just have the idea of what's heavy and what's light. Because when you ask something, truth, is this, going to create possibility in your life? If you feel tension, it's not going to create lightness. But if you feel
Yeah.
light, you start choosing what feels light in your life. And there's different tools where if you don't have that ability to get that binary dialogue, you can quickly, there's different ways where you can put on trajectory and tap into it. And if as soon as you get that down, everything else can unfold pretty easily.
I love that. I love that. That should be a good way for people to make choices in their lives, right? And that's
Oh,
probably what you're saying is if you have two choices, it's which one feels heavy and which one feels light. Go
right.
for the one that feels light.
Right. And to give everybody a tool right now, like say you're saying, well, does taking the past life regression class feel light to me, or does Angie's intuition class feel light to me? Right. And you could ask and see which one feels lightest, or does taking both create the most possibility?
Absolutely.
And you're just getting that thing. Now, if now say you don't feel it either way, say then 5 years from now, if I take the past life regression class, how does that feel? 5 years from now, if I take the intuition development class, how does that feel? Now you're putting that feeling out on a trajectory, and
Yeah.
it makes it a little bit easier to feel the difference. So if you're just now starting to develop your ability to dialogue like that, that is probably one of the easiest tools, but a powerful tool to kind of tune in and see what it feels like out on a trajectory like that.
Oh, very powerful. And what you're doing is you're connecting within, how does it feel inside? And that is your intuition, you
Hmm.
know. I
Yeah, if you
love
can
that.
get to that
That's
inner
great.
silence, you know because they know.
Yeah. I know. I know. I know. So I'm excited to start. So tonight we're starting at 6, right?
Tonight we're going to start at 6. We are going to use Zoom. I was originally going to try to do StreamYard, but we already had people signed up, and then I thought it would be too chaotic to try to switch to how I wanted to do it in the middle because I don't know if people didn't have that expectation from the beginning. I don't want
Right.
to create confusion. So we'll
Right.
be on Zoom tonight. I'm going to have the room opened at 5:45 so people can come in, get situated, and you'll be able to interact up until we start class. So then everybody's going to be muted except for Angie and me since I'm going to be sharing some music. And then at the end of the class, people will be able to have the opportunity to virtually raise their hand. We'll be able to have people interact with Angie. At least that's how I was thinking was going to
Yeah.
happen.
Oh, totally.
Uh,
Absolutely. And share your experience because it's not good. Lots of you got to talk about it, right?
oh,
And you
yeah.
might have questions too. So absolutely.
And somebody just asked an interesting question. How long does it take to become a shaman? Well, I would tell you that if you're a shaman, you already are a shaman. It's just a question of how do you it's more a mindset of, like, I've always been an intuitive my entire life, but it wasn't until I went to fellowships that I got some tools and context to use those gifts. So
Yeah.
a shaman is someone that bridges between worlds. If you're a shaman, you're already a shaman. It's just a question of going through some sort of container where you have a more controlled use. I guess that's not even the right word for it, but just to give some tools where you have a little bit
The
more context to
tools.
step
Yeah.
into it. Right.
Yeah, it's natural. Like I feel like your intuitive ability, like my, all of our intuitive abilities are natural, but training is so important, because you understand more how to use it. You understand how to connect to spirit, where it's natural. I wouldn't be able to do it without my tools. You too, Hank?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. The tools just make it easy. And even if you don't, I have to change that because I just realized I didn't have my colors right. It was kind of bugging me. So if you have the gift, it's just a matter of tools that will create ease around using the gift for you. But even if you never went to any training, if you can develop just that binary dialogue with the universe and always choose what feels
I do.
lightest, you can have that dialogue on your own. It's just more like if you choose to have to seek out different things like classes and workshops and programs and things like that, you can fast track yourself in a
Yeah.
sense to
Yeah.
get to a place sooner. But if you really step into allowance, there's nothing to say you can't have all of that instantly with ease. It's just sometimes a little bit harder to do that for some people.
Yeah, but you can though. It's
Yeah,
possible.
yeah.
Anything's possible.
If
And
somebody wanted to find the Zoom link, there's actually a registration link I posted, Missy. All you do is you sign up, and then it will automatically send you the Zoom link. And then I'm also going to send out a reminder with a couple of best demonstrated practices. I'm going to just post a link again, actually, so make it easy for
okay.
people to find who
That's
just joined
that's
us.
that's the link for the past life regression
Yep,
class tonight,
this
right?
is the link for the past life regression. You just scroll down, you enroll, and then if um, after you enroll, it will give you right in the thank you screen. It's going to give you the Zoom link, and then there's also going to be an email confirmation. And somebody just asked a question about fellowships. Let me find that again.
I just want
Uh,
I'll say real quick too, you're gonna like everybody can do the past life regression. Some people are afraid that they can't do it. You'll be able to do it. And you're gonna enjoy it. Go ahead,
uh,
do the question.
yeah, so someone was just asking about Fellowships of the Spirit. So
Yep.
Fellowships of the Spirit, and I think they're starting to do some classes online. Are they doing like
Yeah.
spiritual insight training online now?
I
Or
don't know if they're doing spiritual insight training online. I think they're still talking about what they're doing.
okay,
But yeah, they're definitely doing what we are, trying to figure out Zoom and what classes are going to work best online.
right.
Some
So
some might not, but I think a lot will.
I just posted a fellowships link, and so
Mhm.
you'll see at fellowshipsspirit.org, or yeah, fellowshipspirit.org. And they normally offer a virtual offering for all their classes or most of them. I know I'm on deck to teach this year, and if there is a stay at home thing going on, I can tell you that I'm able to go mobile with my workshop. So
Yeah.
even if there's not going to be in person offerings, I'm sure, and I probably should reach out to Elaine and too, and just let her know, hey, we can tweak it. I could teach something a little bit different, and it's not a problem to teach,
Yeah,
completely
absolutely. Yeah,
online.
yeah. I have a couple classes I'm teaching too there for this summer, and I've already told her I could do them online easy too. So yeah,
Yeah, so there's still going to be an offering, but check out the website and the program specifically that Angie and I both went through that created such a huge shift
oh,
and changed the trajectory of our lives is called the School of Healing and Prophecy. And so you'd start with Spiritual Insight Training 1 and 2, and that
mhm,
way back when Fellowship started, it was called Channeling in You, I believe,
yeah,
or Channeling in Me. They even had
yeah,
T-shirts Channeling in Me,
yeah,
and the first 2 weekends that was the school, and people
yeah,
wanted more. And so
yeah.
they developed the 2-year program as based on what people were asking for. And if you go through it, it's just they bring in all the best of the best teachers.
Hmm.
Angie's one of the teachers. We'll just say that,
Oh, yeah,
throw it out
Angie.
there. And
Yeah,
they bring
I
in
love
like
it.
all the different teachers. I believe Sharon Klingler comes in to teach. They have Ken
Bill
Cole's teach from Cleveland.
Kaiser, Neil Zukowski. Yeah, really, really good teacher. Elaine, you get a lot of teachings from Elaine and Mark too,
Yeah,
which is
Elaine
so
Mark and Tom Kratzley. That alone is a great.
really,
Oh, and Mark Thomas. So like they take the best of everybody, but the way they teach you to take the class, because at the very beginning, I don't want to take away some of the magic, but they before you even start on any of that, they teach you how to be taught in a way that you don't get caught up in the story of the teacher.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Because if you get caught up in the story of how I teach or what Angie says, if you take our word as etched in stone, that in itself could create a limitation. So what if everything could be a trampoline and a springboard into new possibility?
Oh yeah. Take the best and leave the rest. I
Yeah, take the best,
love
leave the
that
rest.
quote. Love
And
that
someone
quote.
says fellowships is the real deal in spiritual education. I feel I second that. They definitely have an amazing offering, and whether it's the
Oh,
two-year
amazing.
school or
Amazing.
one of the standalone things, they don't just take everybody to teach. They really put together things that they are behind 110%.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. They do it that way, and you know what's nice about it too is it's a 2-year program, but it's not like you're going to school like when you go to college, you're going 5 days a week. You get to go like a weekend a month, and they start on a Friday. Sometimes it goes until Monday, and so they put it together so you don't have to leave your job to go to that school. You
Mhm.
can go to school and then still go back to and do what you need to do in your real life, your
Yeah,
regular.
I think there's just like one or two times where it's like a little bit longer
Oh
than
yeah,
that.
yeah,
You might
the
have to
two
take a
six days.
vacation, but
That's what.
yeah, for the most part,
Yeah.
it's like yeah, and then the food. Oh,
The food, yeah.
that's a whole separate thing. I think they've had different chefs at different times, but they've always been really great.
Oh my
And
gosh,
so
yeah.
it's
I'm
like
always starving. I'm starving when I'm there. It's like I can't wait. And Sue Jaworski, who just came on, is librarian, and Fellowships has a library they're putting together, one of the largest spiritual libraries of rare books. So she's doing that, and thanks, Sue. I love that you're doing that. So yeah,
yeah, and Fellowships is located in Lilydale, New York. If you're coming from Cleveland, it's like the third toll exit on I-90 going towards New York. And I forget, I've never driven the other way, so I'm not sure. But if you go to fellowshipspirit.org, it's right on Dale Drive, close to Cassadaga, or if you're familiar with New York Jamestown, where Lucille
yeah,
Ball is from, it's right in that general area. And it
yeah.
is off the grid. It's not just an experience where you're like, going to a workshop that's in the city or something. Like Lilydale in itself has this whole energy to it, where
Mm,
it's just it's off the grid. It has its own energy, its own vibe. You go to things like Inspiration
amazing.
Stump, or go to the Healing Temple, or just go for a walk by the lake. It's like it's kind of like Disneyland in the way where you feel like you're going to another world. That's how Lilydale feels to me.
Oh, it does.
As soon as I
Every time
turn
you
down the
walk in.
road,
Yeah.
I start hearing the song from Fellowships, "You'll Be Home Again," and then
Oh, yeah. We won't sing. I can't sing,
no.
but I love that song. We'll have to play that for them sometime, Hank, on here. It's a good song, but it's how you feel. It's
Well,
how
if
you
it's
feel at the
copyright, we
time.
had to be careful with YouTube. We got a copyright strike.
Yeah. We had to get permission, but no, but it's true. When you walk into fellowships or you walk into Lilydale, and it feels that way. One of the things I like about Lilydale is you walk around and you can get in a conversation with anybody, or you can just walk around and be quiet. I like
Mhm.
it that when you walk by somebody and you say hi, they actually say hi back to you. And I'm hoping that's one of the things with what we're going through now. I hope that the world changes, that we're more there for each other. And when I go for a walk and I walk by somebody and I say hi, they don't look at the ground.
Yeah,
We need
yeah.
to
Now with
interact.
going to the store, it's like I just went into the twilight zone. Like people are like, if they're passing me and I'm too close, right? They're like running by and holding their breath, and it's like I get it. There's like a lot of
Oh,
anxiety, but
I know.
just take a
I
step
know.
back and relax. It's.
Oh, I know. It's a strange experience, even to go to, I'm sure everybody that's on would agree to like just go to the grocery store right now, because you're right, everybody's trying to stay away and yeah.
Yeah, but the
We gotta
blessed
we gotta
and the mess though is everybody is being mindful, right?
yes,
It's
yes,
taking everybody out of autopilot. Even to go get groceries, everybody is actually being present with the experience of shopping. They're being present
that's
with
true.
everything, and
That's true.
so. I was saying on my Stir Crazy Shamans feed, shameless plug, we do a daily presentation called Stir Crazy Shaman. Me and my shamanic friend Casey. If you want to check out our channel, you can find it in my past comments, my profile. You'll see it. But we were saying as we're trying to flatten the curve of the the pandemic disease, the COVID-19, we're trying to raise the curve in consciousness. And so one curve is going like this, but while we're doing that and everybody's being mindful, we are having the spike of consciousness, which that spike of consciousness, my hope, it's going to be that 100th monkey effect,
Oh
right?
my God.
Where
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have that 1% of the population that has this awakening or
Yeah.
awareness and it spreads to the rest of the population. That's called the Maharishi effect. And what kind of world would we live in if everybody really was being present and aware of how
Mhm.
interconnected we are?
Hmm.
May the God.
You make a good point. Even just saying that in the grocery store, that's true. I didn't even think about that because I go grocery shopping half the time, and I'm running through the store and hurrying up and just throwing things in the cart that I don't even know what I'm going to do with, right? And now we're going, and you're right. It's mindful, like thinking about it.
Oh yeah,
Speaking
and you're making a
store,
list because you don't want to have to go twice and expose
yeah.
yourself twice. You
Yeah,
know.
that happens too. That's true. That's true. And and the beauty of it is that it's all around the world. And not that it's a beauty, it's a terrible thing, the virus, but it is raising consciousness and it's connecting all of us, not just people in Buffalo or people in Cleveland. It's connecting everybody in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're a great example of that just from Cleveland to Buffalo. Look at what all the possibilities and things we're creating because of
Yeah,
this. There's
I
so
know.
many blessings if we want to take the opportunity to slow down and really look, well, what are the possibilities? What blessings have I received from
Yeah.
this gift that is COVID-19?
We have to have a conversation about that, I think, like a good discussion group or something on Facebook Live or here, and let's share the blessings. That's really true.
Oh, yeah, we'll create a whole segment around that. Well, we'll do our messages Monday, and then we'll plan the next one to be the COVID-19 blessing
Yeah, I think
discussion.
so. I think so. I know that sounds real. See, that brainstorming is endless.
Yeah,
But
and for those of you who are still watching, have been with us the whole time or just joining us, if there's certain topics, like we're always going to do Spirit Inspirations is going to be a regular thing, probably once a week. Sometimes messages built in, sometimes part messages, part something else. What topics, what things would you find as a contribution in your life? Let us know in the comments,
I
and
would
we can
love
kind
to.
of plan ahead. Maybe we'll have like a topic thing, and then we'll go into meetings, into meetings with Spirit. Now I can
Meeting the spirit. That's
yeah.
what readings
So,
are.
so
Yeah.
that, yeah, we're just gonna we can kind of mix a conscious conversation around a topic with a little bit of inspiration, doing some message work for people,
Yeah.
and just see what's possible. So let us know, what would you like to hear about?
Yeah,
What would
we would love to do that. We would love
create in
it.
your life?
And we're real excited about doing our spirit inspiration readings on Monday at 7. How you're going to do what they go into a waiting room? Tell them how that works. I forgot.
Yeah, so the way that it's going to work is I'm going to post a link where you're going to go in a waiting room and then you're going to be able to come online with us and we will have you on and interact. So Angie will do the reading, I will do a little bit of facilitation, and hopefully I think I figured out what the audio issue was. So we're going to give some instructions this time around. So when you're
Yeah.
coming on, you close your Facebook browser so that there's no competition on your computer for the audio. Because
Yeah.
it may be that we were that's what was happening. I'm not sure, but we'll
Yeah.
hopefully. Yep, and she's gonna.
I think it was because I think that we could hear some people, and I think that is what they were doing, is turning off their audio so it worked. But
Yep, and
yeah,
also it works with certain browsers. I didn't know that, but Firefox or Chrome it works with, and other ones it's not as ideal. So it might have also
yeah.
been the browser they were using.
Yeah, and I love it too because when you bring them on, people are on screen. If you want to be, we can bring you right on screen. It's like you're getting a reading face to face. So I'll connect with Spirit and give you a reading. Hank's connecting with Spirit too. He's doing something a different way, and tell him what your part
Yeah,
is.
I just called it intuitive facilitation. So I'm going to offer something which is more empowering you to know that you know, and creating something that's going to either reduce the limitation of where you're not being able to create what you're looking for in your life, or just create something else where you're going to be able to step into the possibility, whether
Well,
it's about reducing judgments or tweaking, reframing something. That's how I don't even market that I do readings anymore, Edge. It's crazy. Like
I know.
I still
Well,
I have people come to me for them, but a lot of times it's just intuitive facilitation.
yeah,
And then if mediumship happens during it, then I'm open to that, because sometimes what the person needs
yeah,
facilitation wise is a message from Spirit, but a lot
totally,
of times it's more just getting to the subconscious gunk that's
yeah.
preventing them from stepping into something else.
Totally, totally. And
Cool.
and what I love about this the most is it was spontaneous. We just started doing. We weren't planning on doing messages like that the other night, and we did, and they were good.
Yep, someone's asking, what's the link for Monday? There's not going to be, well, there is going to be a link on the HHH YouTube where you could like bookmark it or whatnot. But if you follow Santosha's page, if you follow me under my personal profile or Holistic Health and Healing or Sonic Shaman, it's live streaming to all these locations.
Yeah,
So once you see it posted as a new, like a a planned live stream, you will have an option on Facebook to set a reminder. Or
Mhm.
if you go to I will give you the YouTube link. If you subscribe to the channel, um, it will give you notifications when we go live. And that
Mhm.
way it would just be anytime we're doing it, whether you caught us putting up the live stream or not, you're going to get notifications when we go to do
Yeah.
the live streams.
Yeah, and then put up. You should put up our too the Facebook page. I don't know. It won't be on our website, but on the Facebook page, and they'll see it there as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, just come on. We'd love to have you come on. Definitely.
And my apologies. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. I think my wife is vacuuming upstairs in the room above me.
I
So if
can't. We can't
you
hear
can't
it.
hear it, oh, good. I see. It's a good thing that I got the microphone and the
Yeah,
headset, because
okay.
otherwise it would have been. I don't know. I've never heard such loud vacuuming before. Then again, I've never been trying to do a live stream before while
Hey
she
Hank,
vacuumed.
I remember one time I was doing a meditation class in my house, and it was springtime, and the windows were open, and my dogs were sitting outside the window, barking into the window during meditation. So
Oh,
that was worse. But actually, it was funny though, because I apologized to everybody, and it must have been a pretty good meditation because most people said they never even heard it. So I stressed for nothing.
and if things like that happen during a meditation, I always take it as, well, we were just getting a little things to practice on. Because
Yeah,
I've done concerts before, and I don't have a rule about kids. I welcome kids to come, and
yeah,
sometimes kids
me
can be
too.
very present, or they could be very not present, and they could be wanting to do all kinds of other things. And if people are getting annoyed, I tell them, hey, you know what? If you have that experience and you're getting triggered, look at that as an opportunity to practice your presence, right?
Oh,
So
absolutely,
if something's going on like that, that's always a good. It's just an opportunity for you to practice what's being taught.
totally.
Okay, so I got the link. This is for the HHH YouTube. So if you want to subscribe to that, you'll have that link. And then also on there, I do other holistic highlight segments. Like on Fridays at 10 o'clock, I'm on with Dr. K, Dr. Krywiak. I always mispronounce her last name, but she's actually a doctor who's also into all the energy work. And we have conversations that are like the holistic approach that can bring in the functional medicine piece. So that's kind of a fun segment that we do too
Yeah,
on Fridays, and that airs to that. And I will give you guys one other quick YouTube link if you like shamanism. We do have a sonic, or we call it Stir Crazy Shamans. It started as a joke with me and my friend that since we were inside, we were just going to start a YouTube channel where we just talk about whatever comes up. And then it turned into something like pretty significant.
yeah.
So if
You
you're
never
interested
know.
in
You
that,
never know. That's kind of how it happens.
yeah. Oh, and
Some things that
today's
some
class, we actually had an entity show up, and I had to clear an entity on air. It was like really
Yeah,
interesting. It was fun.
yeah.
But I will post a link for that too. So if you're interested in that, you can. As soon as I get to the right place, switch accounts. I gotta.
And then Hank also has a link up there too if you want to comment and to past life regression tonight at 6 o'clock. We're starting probably be 6 to 7:30, 8 o'clock. I think it's going to last till.
Oops, wrong one. Well, I posted the right one.
Got
Here we
it.
go. No, I just posted the link in comments for the Stir Crazy Shaman. So if you're interested in that, it's me and Casey McBride that we do that show. Usually we were doing it at 1 o'clock, but now we just changed it to about 9:30 every morning. So if we go back to the new normal, we're not having to change the time when people have day jobs. We'll have a little bit more of an early time. Anything else? I know we're already a little bit over where I thought how long we would talk, but it's easy.
I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. We love our conversations. Yeah, I love doing this. So yeah, so just tonight and then Monday we're going to be on doing Spirit Inspirations
Yeah,
at 7
sounds good.
tonight. Past life regression. So
Yeah, and then projecting out just a couple of weeks to a couple of the other things going on. A week from today, Angie's doing a intuitive development class, and then the week after that, she's going to be doing gallery readings, and we're going to be having that. And then I think next on the 24th is going to be my virtual Sonic Shaman concert. So we're going to have that start. And then on the new moon, April 23rd, I'll post a link. We're having a 6-week virtual series where you will be, it's like a shaman introduction class. And it's
awesome.
based on the first level of the Karo traditions of Peru, where you'll build a Taiwantan mesa, which means four-corner mesa will look something like this at the end. And it's kind of like a medicine bag that has different stones in it that are embodied for the different elements. And I'll post that, but that will be a 6-week virtual course with my teacher, Don Zane Kerfman, the author of Inca Mountain Magic. So I know some people seem to be interested in the shamanism, so I'll throw that out too as something that's coming up.
Yep, sounds good.
Cool.
Sounds great.
Cool. Well, thank you everybody for watching with us and
Yeah.
or watching with us for watching us, not
Yeah,
watching with
yeah,
us.
yeah, no, we appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you tonight, and if not, we'll see you on Monday.
Yep. Sounds good. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.
Okay, bye. Thank you, everybody.